and a very warm welcome to IIPA and this very special show that I am bringing to you. My name is Rakhi Bakshi. Right now we are talking about the whole idea of Viksit Bharat that we are all now working on. And in this, the whole role of panchayats, the grassroots level governance becomes very, very important. And when we talk about the work being done there, we want to talk about the governance at work there and also the partnerships that are coming there, the stakeholders who are also making it all happen. And in this case today, we are talking about Nokia Smartpur project. Under that, a lot of work is now being done. They are also helping in the operational strategy there. So what is being done? We are going to talk about that because there's a training right now going here at IIPA also and a program where we are all discussing different ideas and how the empowerment is happening at the grassroots level. I'm going to talk to somebody who's working there on the project, which is with Nokia Smartpur, and especially Mudit Pant, who is with us here. He's the head of project and partnerships there. Let's talk to him about what is happening, what they're actually doing it on the ground. Thank you, Mudit, for talking to us here. Thank you for joining the show. But tell us about, as I said, operational strategy and the kind of partnership that you have now at the panchayat level and how you're helping the government.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having us. And it's a very great honor for Richard to be part of this 2 days workshop that we're doing at IIPA. IIPA is the knowledge partner of this annual workshop that we're doing. So just to give you a quick introduction about the program, so we are doing, this is a project called Nokia Smartpur, where this is getting supported by Nokia CSR. And here we are implementing from Richa organization. Now the core essence of this project is that we are working across 105 panchayat locations across 6 geographies. So this is Jammu, Kashmir, Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Maharashtra and Rajasthan. So these panchayat ghars are located in a very the need assessment is done in a way that these are located in areas where people earlier, before Smartpurs, they were having a lot of issues in availing basic schemes like getting Aadhaar cards, PAN cards, getting financial literacy, basic payments, availing government schemes that are there for that respective state. So that is how this project has been framed as to how we can empower these local communities through these panchayat ghars by bringing in Nokia support, Nokia CSR support. And just to further add, Shajad will also share about some of the center details and the demographics of these locations, border areas and all of that.
So I will speak to Shehzad Nagar, who is also heading the project, the Smartpur project, very smartly as it is called, is to, the idea is, I think, to empower people, and that's why the word smart becomes very, very important here. But how is it happening, Shehzad?
So as you just said, the idea is to make that particular panchayat a smart panchayat, a Smartpur, as we are calling it here. And that we are doing by setting up a completely technological, highly technological, center with the state of craft, equipment, like, in areas where we don't, as Mudit was saying, the geographies are quite diverse and, varied, and they are like difficult terrains. And in those difficult terrains, in those remote locations, we have brought in some really good equipment in those Smartpur centers so as to empower them digitally. And as for the terrains, as I was just saying, those terrains are quite unique that we're working on. While these services, as we were talking, Aadhaar and all these services might sound very common and very basic to someone living in Delhi. But imagine, I'm just going to give you a few examples from
Please
the locations.
Please do that.
From the locations that we are working in. Starting from the top north, we are working in Jammu and Kashmir. Now in the Kashmir region, we are working in across 8 districts in Kashmir, and Anantnag district is also one of them. And why I'm mentioning Anantnag is because
also in Jammu region.
Again in Jammu, I'll come to Jammu as well, ma'am. But in Kashmir, I'm wanting to mention Anantnag because Anantnag is the district where the Pahalgam area is. And we have about 6 centers in that Pahalgam block itself.
Okay.
So coming on to, so you can imagine the
challenges. So basically then I would like to ask you that connectivity is, not only there, in many areas is a problem or a challenge.
Of
so,
course.
So you're really trying to fill that gap, is it?
Yeah, ma'am, connectivity, I was just coming to the point that in the Jammu division, we have we're working in a district called Samba. There we have the centers which are like right next to the border, the Indian-Pakistan border I'm talking about. It's like a few hundred meters from the border.
I've been there, so I understand.
Yeah. And then coming on to the next ones, we're also in a district called Dhemaji in the state of Assam. It is such a flood-prone area. I went to the district last month itself as well. And what I see there was that after every few kilometers, by few I mean 5-7 kilometers, you see one separate tributary of Brahmaputra just flowing by the roadside. So that is the amount of water bodies that are there in this area, and because of that, that area is really flood prone. And every year for at least 3 to 4 months, that area is like drowning in floods. And even right now, as we are speaking, it's in
So this
facing
is
floods.
real strategic technical support that you're
Of
offering,
course,
isn't
of
it?
course, ma'am.
And in fact, you were talking about Jammu and Kashmir before I interrupted. Is that the terrain? I mean, it's significant in many ways because people there are also aspiring to do so much more, especially at that level. When we are talking about local governance. So how are you really tackling all these things there?
So, for the local governance, we are actually not trying to tackle any issue. We're actually trying to complement them. They are already doing a lot of work, and even the government's focus remains in the, ensuring that the services are reaching to the last person.
Sure.
So, we are trying to ensure that we are able to help the government achieve those
Complement,
targets.
basically. Yeah.
So, we are trying to complement their work.
Add value to it
Of
and
course,
all
of
that.
course. And
Yeah.
that is where we bring our value proposition as the Smartpur project.
So what's the experience like? Tell us more about it. Like, for example, he talked about the geographical patterns which are varied, and but that's where I think the work becomes very interesting. Also, to work along with local people. That's what you're doing. Anything that you'd like to tell us more
I think
about?
just to further add to what Shahjad was saying, I think it's so important to understand that it is very critical for us to know that we have to complement the system that is there on the ground. So, which means there's a lot of stakeholder interaction that we have to do. There are many stakeholders that we are collaborating with in these panchayats. So, there are different government departments like Social Justice Department, there's the DC office, there is KVK for the farmers, there is Animal Husbandry Department, there is e-governance department. So there are a lot of different departments at these locations where we have to closely, go to their offices and also sit and understand what they're trying to do for their people in those local communities. Then they also sometimes share with us, okay, sometimes we are also having, challenges reaching out to the last person in our district.
True.
So maybe you can be the one who can become that bridge. You can, we can collaborate together and strengthen each other. So it's always about the teamwork that we, try to focus on. And then while
Because what I understand is the coordination becomes like a real
it's very
thing to
important.
work on.
Yes, it's very important. And then, as Shahjad is saying, our goal is to keep, working in a way that we are complementing the government system and also hearing the need of the people. It has to be in alignment with what the community needs. So all of that alignment, coordination, bridging the gap is something that we have to be very alert with and very agile with when we are working on ground.
No, because right now the leadership really wants that, it should be a very holistic idea to work on development. And that's why integration is something that it's also focusing on, apart from a great emphasis on digital technology. And that's where I think your role comes in. Would you like to tell us more about how that is happening when we are talking about local strategies?
Yeah, so I'll just say one or two lines, I'll pass it on to Shahjad. Then for example, company like Nokia that is supporting this initiative, their tagline is connecting the unconnected. It started like many years ago. So that is what they are also following for their social projects. This Smartpur intervention is also, in a way, the goal is to connect with the unconnected, which is the person in the community in the last mile. How can we take that government scheme, the benefit to that last person? How can we make them also aware about what are the schemes, what are the government benefits that are there? Sometimes they're not even aware. So we become, we help with the mobilization targets for the government. Also, we are working with the community people and then hearing their needs and actually getting that back to the department. Like, what are they saying? What are they wanting? So I think these are some of the things that we are very consciously trying to do.
Basically, the outreach needs to be very strong and very direct as well. Shahzad, would you like to add?
Yeah, and till now we have been talking about the government schemes and policies and connecting people to them. However, that is just one aspect of the Smartpur project. The Smartpur project works across 5 pillars, and governance is just one of them. We're working in the sector of education as well. We're providing digital literacy classes to students in these rural panchayats. We're also these centers are also functioning as a micro ATM setup, where people who don't have ATMs in their panchayats, they're coming to these centers to withdraw money. Again, we are also providing livelihood training over there. And these livelihood training, as you were saying, how do you make these centers localized? So these livelihood trainings that we are conducting, they are very specific to the location that we are working in. So for example, if we are working in a place like Assam, we will have something of a pig farming kind of a training there. Whereas if we are working in Kashmir, we'll do a something on apple farming or walnut farming.
Or carpet, maybe.
Yeah, carpet maybe, of course, weaving, yeah. And in Rajasthan, we are working in, we are giving them training on goat rearing. In Andhra Pradesh, we recently did a very interesting training on dry fish farming.
Okay.
So that is the kind of localized and location specific interventions that we are bringing in through this project.
Yeah, because the experience says that outreach and communication also, for example, becomes very important. That's where the whole convergence of technology and all these things, elements, I think, adds up to that. Any interesting anecdote that you'd like to share? Like how when you try to connect at the local level, people initially are skeptical, but then they really open up when they see that things are happening, isn't it? I mean, you can forego that. I mean, you can pass that.
Yeah, so for example, as you mentioned, so these are different states and different geographies, right? So these are people from communities and from different backgrounds. And as and when we are going to the community, so the good thing is that in the project for that state, the state team that we are having, those are people from that community only. So they are able to, relate to them in a much better manner. For someone like us, when we go there, so our team members who are from that community, they introduce us to those community members. So that way, then they are also able to, trust us, welcome us in a way. And then that gap is fulfilled. So interesting anecdote is like, for example, similarly, when you're going to different states, there are so many different cultural things also you're seeing. So one funny thing which happened when we went to Kashmir, so usually and this is like a very cultural thing that they do in Kashmir. So when you go and you're having like a morning tea, so like in a morning tea in Kashmir they put salt instead of sugar.
Okay,
Noon
chai.
So they're doing that. So that is something, say for example, like new for us. So this is like a like a unique experience for us. Like this we have different kinds of experiences from those.
So you're actually connecting also.
Yeah. And these are local community things that they're doing daily for their entire life. Like this is as basic as like drinking a morning tea, which they're doing, and which for someone like us who are in Delhi and when we are going, that is like a tea without sugar. That is like a
so as we also see in ads, for example, there's a lot of connect, a lot of experience sharing, learning. I'm sure, Shehzad. We are learning a lot. हम बहुत कुछ सीख पाते हैं इन communities के साथ जब हम देखते हैं, isn't it?
Right, and Mudit just mentioned something about tea. For me, I am someone, I come from the state of Rajasthan, and in my family, we rarely, once a year we eat rice. Otherwise, we are eating roti every day, every single day. And whenever I'm traveling to places like the Northeast or let's say, down south, I can never find rotis, and I have now become so habituated to eating rice that when I go back home and I ask my mom to make it, they're like kind of surprised. What's wrong with you? That's the kind of questions that start coming from them.
And I think in the process of helping panchayats, helping the government, as you're saying, and complementing their work, I think there is a lot of learning in all aspects that you must be experiencing. And I think that's a very positive idea, isn't it? Any road ahead, anything to share for future?
No, so one thing we are very, from our organization, we are very grateful to Nokia, first of all, for having this vision to be working at these Panchayat girls. So all credit to them for this vision and coming up with this project. We are also, grateful to be participating and being the implementing partner to them for this initiative. And KPMG also is helping us with the rollout on the ground. So I think the future is like how, because whenever we are working at panchayats, there's always more need that is coming from the ground. Okay, open more centers in these panchayats. Come here also, because all the government departments, they are seeing how we are helping them with the outreach in the local community. So they tell us, okay, if you're working in this panchayat, why not that panchayat?
As well.
Get more centers. So these are some things that we get to know from the ground level, which we then take it to the company level. So this is how the chain is. So we are very grounds up because we have to really work in tandem with what the community is saying and wanting, because all has to be in alignment with that. And there is, I'm sure Shehzad also, he has made extensive visits across Pan India. We have 100+ centers. So there's something that he would have also, come across, which he should share on this point.
Yeah, and I mean, just to, conclude the whole discussion, I think the road ahead is, as Mudit said, that the need is never ending. And in a country like India with a population of 140 crores plus, we think that there will always be something or the else where we'll have scope for some improvement, scope for some assistance from organizations like ours. and that is the plan ahead that we
I'm sure the
continue to
youth
contribute.
particularly would be very, very interested, because it's a very aspirational kind of thing that we are also watching.
So in terms
People
of
want to grow. People want to really go ahead, learn.
Yeah, no, I think so. In terms of youth, as Shajad was saying about the livelihood programs that we are having. So when we are seeing someone in the community who might be good at one trade, then like our team members are actually connecting with them and seeing how they can take them. Maybe if they want to become an entrepreneur, because in today's time, in this Viksit Bharat episode that we are also having, everyone has or is thinking if they have a skill set that they can start their
Exactly.
own business, start their own entrepreneurship.
The startups,
The
the
startup
revolution
system,
that has taken
exactly, and
place.
everyone is feeling empowered right now, and which is what we are seeing even at that panchayat level also, that they want to earn their own money. So just helping them with their vision, how can Smartpurs further enable the same? I think that is the whole goal. We keep our eyes and ears very open when we are traveling on ground to see what they are saying and what the government, local governments are also saying, and then we come back and do like a drawing board exercise, and then think and see how we can take
I
it
think
forward.
that's the synergy we need exactly, and that is the need of the hour, as we say. And I think thank you for doing this also, and we really, really give our compliments to you, and best wishes also. So we were talking to these two gentlemen who are leading the project, as it is called Nokia's Smartpur project, and Richa, that you represent, Mudit, and Shehzad, who's shared his experience of dealing with all these people, in fact many beneficiaries also, who are looking at not only improving their skill sets, but also to be really participating in this whole journey of Viksit Bharat. So thank you for watching this special show and dialogue, but keep watching, we'll bring you more such interviews. Namaskar.